It's one of those gloomy, rainy days, so what better day to go in the kitchen and make bread or cookies, a cake or whatever. This morning we're going to make a loaf of bread. This recipe is extremely easy and it takes 2 cups of self-rising flour, which we have in a bowl. It takes 1 teaspoon of salt. We'll mix that in with the self-rising flour. Mix that in. We have 1 cup of warm water. Right now it says it's 106, so that's good to put our yeast into. Our yeast, and we have 1 teaspoon of sugar. We'll mix that in. I'm going to let this sit just a few minutes and froth up. Then we will mix it into our flour. We will mix it up, and then we're going to let it rise for 2 hours or proof. We're just incorporating the salt. So again, we have 2 cups of self-rising flour. We have 1 cup of warm water, about 100 to 105 degrees. We have 1 teaspoon of yeast, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of sugar. We put the sugar and the yeast into warm water and let it sit over there. This way you can tell also if your yeast is good. So with that, we're just going to wait a few minutes, and then we're going to pour that into the bowl. We are not going to be kneading this out. We will stir it in the bowl, then we're going to cover it, and again, we will let it proof for 2 hours. You can see that the yeast is starting to froth up on top. That's a good sign. After the 2 hours, we're going to put the dough into a buttered iron skillet. And if you don't have an iron skillet, that's fine. Just use a dark pan. Okay, I think that looks pretty good right there. So we're going to take our yeast water and we're going to pour it into our flour with salt. We're not going to beat it because we want some of the air to stay in our bread to make it a little more fluffier. Now we're going to leave it in this bowl, but when I'm ready, I'm going to set this bowl into this container and then just lay the lid over it. For last time I made it, I put a cloth over the top of the bowl, set this bowl into that bowl, proof. So this is looking pretty good right here. We had this the other night for dinner and it's really good. This is all we're going to do. And then we're going to let it sit for 2 hours. We will come back and we will put it into our skillet. Then it will proof for 30 more minutes. It will then go into the oven for 30 to 35 minutes. You want it to get brown. And in a dark skillet works well because it does brown the bottom and the side. So this is all we can do right now. We're going to wait. So you can see our bread is doing really well. It needs to at least double in size, and we are almost there as far as the doubling. Hour and a half. So we're going to go ahead and preheat the oven to 400. Our bread into the skillet. We'll let it set another half hour. You can see how large it is now. It's better than doubled what it was. So what we're going to do now is take a fork and we're just going to kind of knead it and fold it over on itself, but we're not going to beat it. You can see all we're doing now is once it's proofed, we're going to take it from the bowl and put it into our buttered skillet. And now this is all we're going to do for another half hour. Pull it down just a little bit. To cover it.